I'm a university professor in pharmacy. I've been teaching in a medical university for 20 years, and I'm also a practicing pharmacist. But beyond all that, I've had ulcerative colitis, a form of inflammatory bowel disease, IBD, for the past 22 years. So, I know IBD from both the scientific side and the patient side. In these videos, I want to share what I've learned, what has helped me, and how I manage flare-ups in daily life. As soon as I feel that IBD discomfort is starting, I know what I must do, right away. My goal is simple. If the flare has already started, I try to control it and return to remission as soon as possible. If it hasn't started yet, I want to stop it before it becomes a real flare. Let me explain what I do at that moment, what I've learned works for me. White heavy checkmark. Step 1, I take a break, immediately. I take leave from work. I cancel or postpone all responsibilities, meetings, classes, deadlines, everything. Even if it's difficult, I stop all my activities. I prioritize rest. This has been one of the most important steps in managing my IBD over the years. White heavy checkmark. Step 2, I eliminate stress, big and small. Stress is dangerous during an IBD flare. Even small stressors, like a short phone call, can add fuel to the fire. That's how I see IBD, like a fire. And stress is like oxygen to that fire. When the disease is active or about to become active, stress, even minor, can worsen everything quickly. So, I cut off all sources of stress. I avoid everything that can disturb my peace. There is a reason for this. When you're under stress, your body releases more cortisol, a hormone that in excess can aggravate inflammation. And inflammation is at the heart of IBD. That's why managing stress isn't just emotional, it's biological too. Step 3, I protect my mind from stressful thoughts. One thing that helps me a lot is this. I don't let emotional problems or mental loads enter my brain during this phase. I imagine my brain like a warehouse. If there are any problems or difficult decisions, I just park them there temporarily, and I'll get back to them later when I'm stronger. This mental habit helps me prevent the flare from getting worse. It's like IBD feeds on stress, so I stop feeding it. IBD feels like migraine, in the intestines. Sometimes I compare IBD to migraine. You know how when a migraine is starting, you feel that warning sign. And if you don't act quickly, if you ignore it or push through it, the migraine will become worse and harder to stop. IBD is very similar. When I feel that something is going wrong in my intestines, I treat it like a migraine warning. I stop everything. I rest. I remove stress. I act fast. Because if I wait too long, it will turn into a full flare, and that's much harder to treat. The role of stress, my personal belief. After 22 years with this disease, I can tell you this. Stress is one of the most important triggers of IBD flares. I even believe stress might be part of the initial cause of the disease, not just a trigger. So during a flare, or even at the first signs, I make sure to protect myself from any kind of stress. That's why in my daily life, I always try to reduce stress as much as possible, because I know it's a danger to my intestines. The most important thing, after relaxing, taking time off from work, and eliminating all kinds of stress from my life, is that I prioritize my sleep. Sleep is so important when a flare is coming, or when we are already in a flare. A high-quality sleep is crucial. Poor sleep ruins everything. It destroys everything. Because poor sleep creates stress, a kind of hidden stress, inside our body. This stress causes more cortisol hormone to be secreted, and this aggravates inflammation. But I also know that during a flare, or even before it starts, because of discomfort in our gut, it's hard to get good, high-quality sleep. Still, there are things we can do to help make it better. For example, sipping chamomile tea during the day. I will talk about this later when I mention the 4 magic and amazing things you should consume when you feel any gut discomfort. But here, I just want to say, chamomile tea is the first one. Chamomile has a soothing effect, and it really helps you fall asleep and improve sleep quality. So, do everything you can to make sure your sleep is good. Also, avoid exhaustion, both physical and mental exhaustion. Because exhaustion aggravates IBD. You shouldn't exhaust yourself physically. You shouldn't exhaust yourself mentally. And anytime you feel exhausted, take that as a signal, you need rest. Try to go to sleep. And if it's not bedtime, just rest. Lie down in a dark, quiet space, listen to calm music, try meditation, relax your body. And sometimes, if resting doesn't help and you're not in a full flare, gentle movement might. For me, when I'm not in a full flare but I do feel discomfort in my gut, sometimes walking, jogging, or even running works like magic. These movements create some interesting hormones in the body, hormones that help us relax, and they help calm inflammation too. In my next video, I will tell you about the medicines and supplements that are useful when you're in a flare or when you're about to go into a flare.